Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 700 Club. Thank you for being with us today. A state of emergency has been declared in El Paso, Texas. A surge of 10,000 to 12,000 migrants is waiting to cross the U.S.-Mexico border when Title 42 expires today.
Border Patrol agents are already consumed with processing migrants rather than protecting the border. Chuck Holton reports on this growing security and humanitarian crisis.
Chaos at the southern border as up to 1 million people look to cross into the U.S. as Title 42 expires. While border agents expect a major rush when the COVID-related expulsion policy ends May 11th, the influx along the border has already begun. Agents in the Rio Grande Valley say smuggling organizations are bringing up to 10,000 per day to the border, and that's pushing U.S. border towns to their limits. Here in El Paso, Texas, officials declared a state of emergency May 1st.
We figure that it's anywhere between 10 to 12,000 people that are ready to come on May 11th, May 12th. We do know that there's additional coming right behind them, and we are going to be prepared. I did talk to the federal government the other day. I did talk to the Secretary of Mayorkas' office, and I told them that really we have to change. There's no end game to this, and we can't continue as a city and as a country.
This is becoming a serious humanitarian crisis here in downtown El Paso and many border communities along the U.S. southern border, as literally hundreds of thousands of migrants keep coming across the border, and they end up like this on the streets here behind me. Border Patrol agents are going around and passing out these flyers that encourage them to turn themselves in. And Secretary Mayorkas was here just a few days ago touting his new plan to fix this problem. But somehow that plan doesn't include fewer people coming to the United States. It just includes pre-approving them outside the U.S. and then flying them directly into the heartland of America.
We are reaching the people where they are. It is not only our security obligation, it is our humanitarian responsibility to cut the smugglers out, and that is indeed what we are doing. We are building pathways.
The hope is that as more people take advantage of these pathways, fewer will overwhelm the border.
We are making it very clear that our border is not open, that crossing irregularly is against the law, and that those who are not eligible for relief will be quickly returned.
While DHS is now requiring asylum seekers to have first been denied asylum in another country and to set up an appointment by government app, the pipeline of people surging north through Mexico are unlikely to just go back home. Even those migrants arriving in the U.S. are finding things tougher than expected. More than 2,000 migrants now live on the streets in a few square blocks around the Sacred Heart Catholic Church here in El Paso.
Pero este es el primer vez en los Estados Unidos.
Ya había entrado 3 veces.
3 veces. He's been here 3 times already in the United States. Y 3 veces y lo votaron. And he was deported already 3 times.
With wait times for an asylum hearing already stretching into 2026, and from the numbers waiting in Mexico to cross later this week, things here will likely get much worse. From El Paso, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
Thank you, Chuck. Incredible to think that asylum hearings stretching to 2026, and we appreciate Chuck alerting us to the homelessness crisis they're developing as well. And the border agents are processing. They're not protecting the border. So it'll be interesting come election time if this crisis continues to plague the Biden administration. Well, in other news, a web of shell companies to conceal foreign cash was used by the Biden family business. Now, that's according to an investigation by House Republicans. And John Jessup has more on that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That's right, Andrew. Members of the House Oversight Committee cited bank records showing that 16 of the 20 alleged shell companies were formed during Mr. Biden's time as vice president. The companies reportedly received more than $10 million from foreign nationals, including companies with ties to the Chinese Communist Party. The White House calls the claims baseless. Well, turning now to Israel, where Palestinian terrorists in Gaza have fired more than 500 missiles at the Jewish state over the last 24 hours, some hitting areas as far as Tel Aviv. The rocket barrage is sending more than 1 million Israelis running into bomb shelters or lying on the street for protection. Israel's Iron Dome anti-missile system intercepted more than 90% of the rockets, but some did get through, like in Ashkelon, where more than 30 Israelis were injured. A number of Palestinian rockets have misfired and landed within Gaza, killing several Palestinians. The Israeli military is responding with strikes against terrorist targets in Gaza. Andrew, we'll send it right back to you.
Thank you, John. What a dangerous situation when you think of Palestinian citizens being killed by their own rockets. And, you know, that Iron Dome is an incredible piece of technology in Israel, but it can't stop everything. And with the Gaza Strip being so densely populated, this is an extremely dangerous situation. So I ask you all to be praying for peace in that region.